Hey guys, it's Generalkidd here. How's everyone doing today? So, for today's video, I was actually asked by someone on Discord recently the question of, can these pilots, the Hornet pilots, or actually pilots in general in Halo 3, can they get infected by the Flood? So, I already knew the answer to that. It's pretty obvious, and I'm sure most of you assumed as well. The answer is yes, they can get infected by the Flood. However, I decided to tackle this anyways because I realized I don't think I've personally ever seen them get infected by the Flood, and I don't think many people have either, because there's really almost no situation where they'd normally, be near flood infection forms. Because usually, I think the only mission where you could possibly get them near flood is this part of the mission, the Covenant, and you have to keep them alive too, and not like leave them behind or anything, which most people probably do. But I figured I'd tackle it anyways, and just to see what they look like when they get infected, the whole process and everything, because there's a lot of characters that we don't really get the opportunity to see infected by the Flood very often, so why not? So to bring those pilots here, as you saw earlier, they actually don't get on your Hornets right away. You need to be on co-op actually, and you need to have at least one person go ahead first. And only then will the Hornet pilots get on your Hornet in the passenger seats. And when you bring them here, you need to land outside and then make sure to get off the Hornets before you go inside, otherwise they despawn. And then once you're finally outside, to get them infected in the first place, you need to make sure like all the infection forms, all the Flood carriers are left intact and alive. And to do that, you need to make sure your Marine allies don't interfere. And there are a lot of Marine allies, so you need to take them out. And on top of that, if you destroy the AA rates, you'll even have elite allies that you need to get rid of as well. All while making sure they don't betray you and stuff when you kill them. And of course, at the same time, you also get a lot of Flood combat forms interfering and stuff. So it's not like the easiest thing, to get the pilots affected by the Flood. You kind of do have to set it up a little bit. But, after several tries, we finally got it. And the pilots finally got infected without any interference from other AIs. So, without further ado, this is what it looks like when the pilots get infected. Now, obviously, they turn into human Flood combat forms. But other than that, their animations are completely the same as Marines. Although, interestingly enough, sometimes... I only did this like once or twice, but sometimes this pilot here, I don't know if it's a specific pilot or not, but when he gets infected, there's no like flood growth on him or anything. He just kind of like drops to the ground and then instantly goes like poof and turns into a flood. While the other one, so like this is the one I was talking about, and it wasn't just like it didn't load in or something. It just in theater modes it's like completely consistent. But as he's getting infected, you can see there's no like flood spores or like no flood growth coming out of him. While the other pilot over there, you can see like there's a lot of flood stuff coming out of him while he's mid-infection, and that's very normal for when Marines get infected, or any AI when they get infected, like while they're still alive. They'll be struggling and everything, and then there'll be like flood stuff growing out of them instantly. But strangely enough, this one here, there's no flood growth. I don't know how common that is, to be honest. Maybe it happens pretty often. I just personally never like noticed it. I haven't really paid attention enough to each Marine getting infected to notice if any of them get infected without any spores growing on them, or any other kind of like flood mass growing on them. So you see, he just instantly turns into a Flood combat form. No like transition or anything really. That usually only happens when I use like a mod to infect other characters that don't normally get infected, like Miranda Keyes. There's no like flood growth coming out of her when she gets infected. But these pilots, you don't need a mod to get them infected. They're normally supposed to be infected because they're just variations. They're variants of the Marine biped, and whatever works for a regular Marine works for the pilots as well. So I don't know like why that's different. Maybe it's just like a one-time glitch, or maybe it happens every now and then. But I personally never noticed it before. But anyways, there you guys have it. That is what the pilots look like when they get infected. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And if you did, as always, make sure to leave a like. And leave your thoughts in the comments. Anything else you want to see or check out, just let me know. And I'll do my best to get around to it. But other than that, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all next time. Bye, guys.